So I've got a bit of a problem. Frankie loves video games. You know that. She runs this channel with me. But she has a bit of a blind spot, and it's for one of my favorite systems, Nintendo 64. Why do you ask? It's the controller. She didn't have one growing up and isn't used to this honestly pretty weird configuration. And that's frustrating for me because there's so many great games on the Nintendo 64 she's missing out on. But something has come along that could change all that. The Brawler 64 controller by Retro Fighters. It's a complete redesign that gives the old 64 controller a more modern feel. So will this be enough to get Frankie to immerse herself in the Nintendo 64? And what do I, someone who didn't really mind the old controller, think of this new design? Well, sit tight, because you're about to see the Pixel Slayers review of the Brawler 64 controller by Retro Fighters. Stay tuned.
The Brawler 64 is the controller I wished the N64 came with. Ever since I played the system for the first time back in 1996, something always felt off about the controller. Innovation can sometimes lack foresight. There's no denying that the N64 controller set the standard for analog controllers that we use today. However, today the three-headed monster just doesn't hold up to the perfect controllers that we are used to. The first thing I thought when holding the Brawler 64 was how familiar it felt to the Switch Pro controller. All the buttons are responsive, the D-pad is in the perfect location and feels good, and most importantly, I haven't noticed any loss in sensitivity using the Brawler joystick. The cord is a generous length, and Nintendo memory cards and rumble packs work fine. I did have an issue using the Trimmer Pack Plus with the pass-through connection for memory cards, and the transfer pack is not supported, so keep that in mind. My only concern I have with the controller is that the build quality doesn't seem to be up to par with Nintendo's, although those are some big shoes to fill. It feels more authentic than any Interact or Mad Catz controller, and has the look and feel of a first-party controller, but given the trigger issue with the Revision 1 of the controller, and the obvious lighter plastics used with the Brawler 64, I am somewhat doubtful that this controller will fully be functional in 22 years, like the authentic N64 controllers are. I would also like to see this thing finally put on sale in bigger quantities and color options. You would think that there are very few magical mice working in a magical factory using carrier pigeons to deliver these things, given how long it takes for this company to get these things to their backers and customers. I'm pleased with the overall package, and happy there's finally something modern and reasonable to use to finally play my favorite N64 games. There will be 2 of these in my house. I plan on purchasing a second one once the color models finally come out, and I would recommend anyone who plays an N64 to pick one up.
So now time for Sari's review. The first thing I noticed was comfort. My hands felt like they molded right into the controller. Of course, it took me some time to get used to. That's true of any controller you've never used before, but I didn't expect to get used to it so quickly. The Z buttons, yes, there are more than one now, were surprisingly intuitive. After some time, I simply forgot what controller I was using and just got into the game, the true mark of a great controller. In the end of the day, I still enjoy using my standard 64 controller sometimes for nostalgia's sake. But you know what I like even better than nostalgia? Winning. And the Brawler controller makes it easier and more comfortable to do that. Hey Frankie, so you really like that Brawler controller, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's pretty much opened the 64 library to you then, huh?
Definitely.
Yeah, well, I've got a couple games to suggest for you. We got Kirby 64. Oh, you'd like Road Rash 64. Doom 64. Mario Kart.